So one of our super random West Philly days, venture in there, and this is the day I got the shot of all the pigeons kind of going from one wire all the way around, then back to the next one. And Nick was trying to get a downhill line. I actually didn't even use the line in the video, but I just like the shot of the pigeons. But we ventured upon this spot that was down the street from where this was, and it was essentially a cellar door, but it was set up like a pyramid in a way. But the one side of it kind of, you couldn't like land in it the correct way. And it was on the side of a side street, but every time that you went up to it, it kind of like set off an alarm. And Nick's going up, and he's trying to 540 it. Actually, that was his original goal, was to 5 it. And he goes up, throws his body one time, and just like slams on the thing. And, you know, people are looking at him, and it ended up with him. He probably got like 10 tries, and then this guy came out and pretty much like threatened him that you know, go to your own neighborhood and do it, which is completely understandable. And apparently there's people there before that targeted that during the riots and like broke the windows, so that place is like really cautious about their store. So Nick got thrown out of there before he can really get a trick. But the 360, when we reviewed it back on film, I thought it came out pretty incredible because it was just kind of like accidental in the way where he like floated but like avoided the top of the chain too, and you can see his like feet like kind of swivel down. And it's like one of those instances where you didn't expect that to be a thing, but it was like it worked out for the better in the end. It just turned out to be a cool clip in itself. And actually, in a way, it might have even been better than 5. And then we're just driving through Upper Darby, and we stumble upon this wall, and it had a little alleyway to it, so I just figured I could just hit a little bump to Wally. Did my little thing, cut my hand open actually all over my crappy white pants that I had on. But Nick did the highlight. Nick did the high boost, the alley-oop wall ride. And he got, the one he got up there for the photo, the photo looks amazing, but he got so high up there and just like rode it. And another instance of shouldn't be a spot, probably is nothing to the normal eye, but to us we looked at it as an opportunity, you know, like something you can get something out of nothing. And while you're there, you might as well do it. That's the mentality. Like, even if it's not usable later, like, you at least try to get something. And it's like making the best of what you got in your neighborhood. And whether it be that or whether it be with the pigeon clip from earlier, where Nick just like, I was telling him to get like a downhill ride where he jumps over this one thing and then maybe hit the hip that we had at the bottom of this hill. But it didn't turn into anything, and you know, the air could have been cool, could have been usable or something, but just didn't fit the formula of the video I was going for. But the shot, I mean, you know, you can use a shot really for anything, but in this instance, it was the area that was the more important part, you know. The more you drive around Philly, the more you see a lot of the same, but then the more you drive around Philly, then sometimes you just end up in places you have no idea where you are. And you think you've seen, you know, everything, especially when you look it up on Google Maps, like areas and playgrounds and schools and stuff. But then sometimes you just never know when they might just build something new. And we're driving down the area one time, and I just looked to my right, and I'm like, is that one of those things? And apparently over the last like 4 or 5 years, they've been building these ledges, or like pretty much like giant seating areas that are plastic and wood and really have no business being there other than for like skating. They're littered all over the city, but this one in particular, like we just looked to our right, we're like, wow, like you know, is that a thing? Like pull over, skate over. It's nobody skated it. You got this weird like little chain link fence that I convinced Nick to jump up and roll down, which at first he was very skeptical of trying, and then he believed in it and knew that he could do it, and did it pretty well actually a few times, where he actually like got a good chink on the thing, and you know, got his wheels on it and rolled it, and came out kind of cool. And meanwhile, I was struggling with, you know, figuring out a way I can make this tire bump into a grind. And the only problem is like, and it like totally defeats like after what Nick did, but that thing, you jump on it, you kind of like, if you put your feet into it a little too much, it would kind of like stick and like dig in, and every time I jumped on it, I felt like I was like breaking it. Whereas Nick, you know, he comes out hot, blasting the kind grind. And then my man just went into full pain mode, going for this alley-oop topsoul. And man, when I say he fell multiple times trying this alley-oop topsoul, he got hurt more than you would in an IMYTA back in the day. He got sauced on that thing, like San Giorgio's like pasta, noodled all over. But he got one where actually he got one that he was like okay with, and it turned out to be the one we used, but my man was paying for it, and it almost nearly ended his day before it began. But the trial and tribulations of going through skating, well, in his eyes, a stupid grind spot too, and that's like, you know, Nick 9 times out of 10 would rather hit a wall ride than grind anything. As in his words, imagine having wheels on your feet and bending your ankles to slide on. And that's a Nick quote right there. But always finding something wild in North Philly, especially like this. It's like a ledge that ends up into a hill bomb, and like, okay, like shouldn't be there, but it is. It's a thing. Gems, always gems.